Hey, what's up guys? It's Joel from Easy Engineering and welcome back to another video. So today we're diving right in and talking about Ableton Lives Simpler. It's a really great tool and it's just like Sampler except that you can only use one sample instead of multiple samples. Like in Sampler you can have multiple samples triggering off different velocity rates and different keys on the keyboard. So let's go right in and talk about Ableton Simpler, what it can do, the different parameters and different sections of it. And yeah, let's have fun with it. So as you can see over here, it comes with 3 different modes that you can have. The classic mode, which is where you can go in and set your loops and you can get creative with your looping over there. You have your one-shot mode, then you have your slicing mode. Now the slicing mode is really cool because you can kind of separate the entire sample into little regions is what they call it. And you can trigger off the different regions of the sample. So you can go in and trigger it off different regions of the sample. So as you can see right here, you can slice it by the transient, the beat, the region, or you can go in and manually select your regions, your trigger points. Now, transient means that it's going to be slicing them up at every transient of the sound. And then what you go in and do is you just click your keys on the keyboard and it will trigger off the different region mapped to whatever key you're pressing. Now you have this trigger mode or gate mode, and the trigger mode is just when you press a key, it will play the entire region. So let me try and get to this. There you go. See, I've pressed it once and it plays the entire region. Now if I press it to gate, if I just press it, it just kind of triggers. It doesn't really play the entire thing, so that's why you call it the gate effect or the gate mode. I'll have to hold the button down in order to play the entire region. Now you have different playbacks, which is mono, so that means that if I can only press one key, I can't press multiple keys. But if I put it to poly, then I can press as many keys as I want. Really, you can choose the different voices and retrig, so just kind of what part of the phase, I suppose. And next you can go and click on through. That means that if I press a section over here, if I trigger off this region over here and I have it to trigger, it will play through the rest of the sample. See over there. Now obviously if I have it to gate, I will have to hold it down. So you can get some really cool stuff going over here. Let's try and do something. Click it to region and I'm going to put it to 16s. So I've got a hip hop beat over here just to kind of give you a bit more context. I'm going to put it to mono play. Let's see what I can do. Yeah, you get the idea. So you can get some really cool beats and grooves with the slice mode. Going into the one-shot section, it's just basically the one shot of it. Right. But what you can go in, stop that. You can go over here and you can choose the warping function and you can just choose how it gets warped. So right now it's warped to beats. Now what you can do if you want to read more about the different types and what the kind of effect they can have, just hover your mouse over here and then in the box over here in the left corner you can just read the different modes and understand a bit more on what they're doing to the sound. When I'm stretching out a sound, I tend to put it onto the tones warping mode. It just gives a clearer, smoother kind of stretch. Let's do that now. I've stretched it out. Really cool. And then you can go in and choose, like, kind of mess about with the grain size. And if I press it to trigger, I'm triggering it off and I can go in and mess about without having to press more, hold the keys down or anything like that. Okay, so that's the one-shot section, and going back to the classic section, you still have the warp mode, so I've still got it set to tones and everything, but now I can go in and mess about with the loop. So I have loop turned on, And let's just go in and so now I want it to start over there and I want it to loop just over there. Go right in. Yeah, you get the idea. You can go in and create some really interesting looping sections. It's probably best done with maybe percussion or hi-hat, drums, something like that. Let's just put a snare in over here. Let's see. Yeah, you can get some interesting gritty sounds like that. And then you can obviously go in. Here's your filter section and choose a different filter. Let's choose Bampa. Right. And now you can also go in and choose, this is the amp envelope. So you can choose the attack, decay, sustain, release. I wouldn't do it for like such a short, snappy sound. Obviously the pad, the Atmos that we were just using, that could be a better sound to use for controlling or modulating the amp envelope. Here's your LFO. You can choose the LFO, the rate, the type, but this is basically the first part of Simpler. And then you got the control section, and this just gives you more control over the effects section, I suppose you can call it, with the filter control over here, the LFO control over here, and the pitch envelope control over here. Now down here is kind of your main, I like to call it my main section, just kind of controls the entire sound. So I can control the pan, can transpose it up or down. I can turn glide on, which is basically if I have one note playing and I press another note, it will kind of glide into the next note, so it kind of melds them together. Yeah, you got your spread, which is really cool. This kind of pushes it to the side, spreads the sound out wide, just get some nice width over there. Yeah, here's your pitch envelope control. You have to put your mouth to it and control the pitch of it. Next, you have your filter control, where you can go in and just control the frequency of it. You also have your filter envelope control, and that just helps you control and shape the filter envelope. Next and finally, you have your LFO effect, and you can kind of assign it to different places like the pitch, the filter, the pan, or the volume. So assign it to the pitch, and you can go in and mess about with your speed, your rate. Let's put it to the filter too. So yeah, that's pretty much Simpler in a nutshell. The creativity can be endless, and it's honestly one of my favorite tools. I usually find myself using Simpler more often than not, and it's a great way of just kind of going in and making sounds. If you struggle with synthesis or sound design, just put a sound in Sampler and mess about with it and see what you can come up with. There's literally endless possibilities with this kind of thing. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So I hope that you found this video useful. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you thought in the comments down below. Leave a like if you enjoyed it, and thanks very much for watching. If you want to see more of these videos, please hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next one.